Okay, so collision manager, yada yada. It's literally all the same code you gave us. Collision dispatch. The only one that I really had to write was collision self. And yeah, I just did what we talked about in class, where I just get the next iterator of the previous one, or the inner one only searches everything after the outer one. So it's the n squared over 2 formula. And then I did some tweaks to the player and game stuff too. Start pushing it towards tanks, including adding more controls. See, the player and the little objects, and the bullet are both collidable now. And my scene demo, I'm going to first start with only detecting collision between the bullets, just because this one's easier to show, and then I'll start adding all the other three. So I can shoot one bullet down here, spawn a bullet, reuse an old bullet. As you can see, it will not announce a collision when there's not 2 in the scene. And then it freaks out because it sees 2 bullets are in the scene, which is this right here. Collision with bullet, bullet collide with another bullet, which is it's yelling about. And then this one's just a fun little stress test, just like collision player. But because there's only one player in this scene, it will actually never trigger. This was mainly just for me to prove that my system could handle another edge case. As you can see, it's only ever colliding with bullets. The player never collides with player. Oh, and those lines are just reuse old bullet. Then set collision, player and bullet. Oh. This one's a mess to watch, so. If I fire a single bullet, you see that the player is colliding with the bullet and the bullet is colliding with the player, back and forth, back and forth. And then I can still detect the other forms of collision. If I have multiple bullets in the scene at once, bullet collided with player, player collided with bullet, bullet, player. Oh god. This is hard to track, but you know what, just for the sake of simplicity, I'm just gonna put a breakpoint just to prove that it's still working. Okay. Yep, when I spawn the second bullet, the second I do that, the second bullet enters the scene, it triggers a collision, just because we have the force to always be true. So as soon as it's physically possible for another collision to happen, that happens. Oh, this is just my unused thing. Ignore that. Then I have the same stuff of set collidable group. I set collidable group when it's created, and then collidable submit collidable registration, collidable set collidable collision deregistration, so the bullets are going in and out. And the player works the same way, but he is much less interesting considering he stays in the game. Submit entry, scene entry, yep, collidable, submit collision, and submit collision. And as far as game stuff, I've done a little bit of things of making the turret rotate and making the bullets line up with the barrel better instead of the body, which I will be using to make the enemies soon. Which I'm thinking about using some inheritance to actually, it's probably not worth it, but either way.